what happens when you write in the journal about your feeling, your experience? What happens to you?
What happens is it's a release. You know, a lot of times we're holding all this stuff inside and you're carrying around all this baggage, for lack of a better word, just carrying it around. It's a release. It gets it up out of your head, out of your soul, out of your spirit, and it puts it on paper. We should not just be workhorses. We should be taking our breaks. On our breaks, we should be getting sunshine, going for a walk, writing in a journal. And so I wrote this journal, 5-minute journaling, that you can take with you to work, at work, and on your break, start journaling.
Here she is.
Hey, Tessa Marie.
The limo ride.
The limo I got here safe. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Did they give you water? Because they were supposed to give you a hot towel to wipe your hand and water. And they opened the door, let you. So you got the royal treatment.
I got the royal treat. They had red carpet laid out, the whole 9 yards.
That's what happens when you come to the Tessa Marie show. The limo comes on time. They treat you. They treat you with respect. Did he have his white glove on?
He had his white glove on and his hat.
Well, that was good. Perfect. And he was supposed to be the color of cream. I hope his complexion was cream. And what you call it, peaches and cream from complexion. I had to pick a special one for you. So I hope you... I hope you enjoyed your limo ride to the Tessa Marie show, and welcome everybody.
I did. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. So anyway, you are most welcome, but it's a pleasure. The thanks is for me to have you on. You're a person I've admired greatly. I have a lot of wonderful things to say about you. You know that, though. And all the wonderful people. I saw Angela coming in and Francine. I don't, Cassandra, Body Confidence. I know who that is. And who else come here? And of course, you. So here we are. And tonight is a special night for me. Tonight, it's funny you have a book that you're bringing to me about a 5-minute journal, which is amazing. And I love it because, you know, I'm a huge supporter of journaling and all of that. But you chose Thursday night. I don't know if you understood what it means to me on a Thursday night. It's called the Spiritual Prosperity Night. And journaling is a form of connecting spiritually with what you are, who you are, and your connection to whoever you purport your God, your universe to be. And any form of journaling is a form of planning for your future. And we plan for our future when we pray. So when we journal, we are actually praying, just as when we speak. So I cannot wait to hear all about this book, why you wrote it. I'm full of questions, you know that. You've done this before. So let's get the show on the road. Come on, guys, let's get her going. Here we go.
Again, thank you for letting me come on to your show tonight. I didn't realize that I was coming on the Thursday, that's what it was. So it's so perfect. The perfect timing. So I appreciate you letting me on. So I wrote the 5-minute journaling because for 2 reasons. One, I've struggled myself with writing in a journal. You know, I've struggled of what to say, when, you know, what should I write? I would get journals and the pages would stare at me and I would stare back. So I tried the electronic journals, and it didn't work for me. So I come up with a system of answering questions. Like, what are the top 3 things about today? You know, or what inspired me the most about today? So that was one reason why I wrote the journal. The second reason is because we talk about self-care all the time. I mean, you have a show on Sundays about self-care. And what we don't talk about is self-care at work. You know, we always talk about our morning, you know, what we should do for our morning routines and our afternoon routines. But what are we doing at work for our self-care? And so the reason why I wrote the journal, 5-minute journaling, is because at work, we all should be doing some type of self-care. We should not just be workhorses. We should be taking our breaks. On our breaks, we should be getting sunshine, going for a walk, you know, writing in a journal. And so I wrote this journal, 5-minute journaling, that you can take with you to work, at work, and you can, on your break, start journaling to give yourself some self-care. So that is the reason why those are the two reasons why I wrote, one for myself and one to help others who maybe are struggling with writing a journal, but struggling giving themselves self-care at work.
Well, that is, journaling has been a part of my life, and I think it's perhaps the English bringing up, the schools in England and stuff like that. We always had to write journals. We always had to write in a book. There's always a diary, whatever you want to call it. So I grew up with that, and therefore it's very easy, and I pass it on to family. Well, we all do it, the children. But I found out from the time we did our show, the course in December, that journaling is a very difficult thing for a lot of people.
Yes.
And I think I must commend you. The 5-minute self-care journal is a brilliant idea, an absolutely brilliant idea, because people don't realize we do have the self-care show. We talk about some things at work. I talk mostly about the hygiene part of self-care at work, because somebody of a different race what comes in with naked belly, then you with the black belly should come the same. No, it doesn't apply to you. These rules don't cover you. But what you're saying is completely different. And I like it that you're saying you have to take your break. So many people do not take their break. And they don't realize the effect it has on your life over the years. I have had people that I worked with that retired on Friday and died Monday morning, because their body just couldn't take the stress of not going there and sitting there and working until they're shaking on their way out, but they're still there. Mm-hmm. So that type of journal. So what questions are they supposed to ask themselves? Do you give them an idea, or do you just talk to them about it?
So I have actually questions in the journal. So what are 3 things about today? So what are 3 things about today? Or what 3 things that you wish for tomorrow to happen? And what inspired you the most today? What inspired you at work? What inspired you the most today? And then I have a thing where you can check off of how did you feel today? And it's a little emoji sign. I can kind of show it.
Yeah,
how do you feel today? And
I
so
love that
daily and weekly.
I love that. I noticed the print is bigger. It's almost like it's going to jump out at you. What would make someone, how can we, because I am really in it with you, how can we encourage people? What idea you can give me so I can spread it to encourage somebody to take this on? What inspired you today? What was great about today? How you feel about today?
I think the thing too is that, at work, I've been talking about self-care at work a lot more lately. I've been talking about, because it's not talked about at work. There are so many people who don't even practice self-care. As much as we talk about it all the time, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who don't even do any form of self-care. And at work, the examples that I give is that I go on a smoke break. I don't smoke anything. But if, people who smoke, they take their 15-minute smoke breaks. They go outside and they smoke. I take my smoke break and go outside and get some sunshine. Go outside and get some vitamin D. Go outside and get some fresh air. That's my version of taking time for myself. I also now focus on not eating lunch in front of my computer and working. Those are simple things, but they add up, because a lot of times we're just come in and you're just a workhorse. You got 1,000 things to do. Your list runs out the door. You don't have time to look up, and you're drained. And you're right. You go home, you're exhausted. You don't have time for anything else. And so at work, we need to focus on how we can give something back to ourselves while we're at work. Everybody deserves a break at work. And what are you doing on your break at work?
Well, you know what? You said that people have smoke breaks or whatever break. This idea just came to me, and I'm sure it's something that is amazing. Why not take your 5-minute journal with you and go and write in your 5-minute journal? Write about while they're smoking or they're having lunch, you do not have lunch, or whatever you're doing. Your break is 15-20 minutes. You go out there and you use that time to do what you're supposed to do, which is write about how you're feeling. Explain, because I know you're doing it. I could, but I wanted to explain to this person out there that does not understand what happens when you write in the journal about your feeling, your experience. What happens to you? You are talking because you created it for example for you.
Right. What happens is it's a release. You know, a lot of times we're holding all this stuff inside, and you're carrying around all this stuff, this baggage, for lack of a better word, just carrying it around. It's a release. It gets it up out of your head, out of your soul, out of your spirit, and it puts it on paper. And that helps. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel lighter. You can compartmentalize. You can look back on it later. Another example too for the journal at work is that a lot of times, you know, when it's performance evaluation time, your supervisor will come and say, well, I haven't, you know, you didn't do anything spectacular this last year. If you was keeping up with it in a journal of all the good things, you can say, hold on a minute, and flip back and be like, on March the 2nd, I did blah, blah, blah. Flip over. On April the 10th, I did blah, blah, blah. That you're keeping track of it daily. None of us remember all the good things that we've done, the little things that need to be tracked. And that's why it's for work, because you can do all those things as well.
You know what? I did that when I was supervised. I encouraged my staff to do it when I became the manager. But I did exactly what you said. I wrote all of I call them my did wells. So all the thing I did well, I wrote it daily. And I highlighted it in red so that when I'm flipping, when it's appraisal time, I can do that. The 5-minute journal, although it is for work, for example, that person who's at work today and is having a terrible headache and have no idea why, and other little symptoms, do you think they can also put that information in there so that when they see their doctor, they're not forgetting is that another part of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely too. Because it keeps track of things when how you're feeling. So I'll give a really good example. Depending on the time of day, my journal, what I write looks different. So if I skip breakfast, I hadn't ate lunch yet, my journal may look like, gosh, she's kind of grouchy. Well, I'm hungry because I haven't eaten, you know, I can track that. So it helps trying to track what's going on, you know, with yourself. And you can look back and be like, oh, I probably don't need to skip breakfast, or I probably need to eat lunch earlier because I can see how I was feeling when I wrote on this day and I skipped lunch or I skipped breakfast. So it is a good track for yourself. One of the reasons too is that I made it soft so you can put it in a purse, you can put it in your bag, and you can carry it around with you. It's not heavy, it's lightweight. You know, if you riding on a train to work or a bus to work, you know, it won't be one more thing to carry around. You know, we're already carrying our computers and all that. So it's a lot lighter to carry around with as well.
So you said you had some challenges when you had to write in your journal. And that was one of the reasons you said you try, and I'm not in favor of one on with your fingers. To me, it doesn't do the thing. It doesn't do it for me. I need to have the pen piercing through the pages. That's when I am really upset. You can tell because you'll see the printing 4 pages after I've written it. So you use that. What has happened since you embraced journaling for you? Something you did not like to do. What happened with it?
What for me, it opens up another door to your world, like opens up your soul, where things that I was holding in, you know, good and bad. Not all, I mean, I'm not saying all bad. The good things too that I was holding into myself, holding in and not sharing with anybody, not saying it out loud. And sometimes put in the journal is my version of saying it out loud. I'm not necessarily trying to tell anybody else, but I need to get it out of me. And so it has lightened me up. The thing about the written, so I tried the written on the blank page. You know, everybody knows I took a journal. It was blank pages. I looked at it and I was like, okay, maybe you should write. Yeah, I didn't know what to write and I wasn't consistent. So then I tried the electronic one. So same thing. It was no better. And then I was like, what do you want to say? And that is kind of how I came up with these questions, these prompts to help me answer these questions of what to get out that I want to say.
So in other words, you use your journaling as a friend because you talked about saying that it's not only bad things you put in there, you talked about it. Did you find that from your recent or whenever you start really truly journaling and having this question, did it help to expand your creativity?
It did. Yes, it did. Yes, it really,
It does.
really does. It opens you up. Yes, it does.
It does. Why do you think it does?
I think, you know, like I said, I think it frees you. It frees your mind of holding some of the things that you're holding into and lets your mind expand beyond what it normally would have or could have, because you were holding in and holding on to all these things that are now on the journal.
So in that journal, if you have, for example, you said the journal is with you everywhere you go. That's the idea. And it's the proper size that will fit in a pocketbook, in a purse, in wherever. Yes. And you can write on it on the subway, on the bus, wherever you are at work, wherever on your way going. Now tell me, in this journal, because of what you're writing, are you encouraging somebody or people to take these small ideas that pop up in their heads? You know, I have a big thing I do about the ideas that are just this long, and it might be just a phrase. And how do you do that when you get that small little nudge like, hey, Belinda, look at this. That's something you can do. What do you do when that comes to you now that you're a journal person?
I break out my journal. And I start writing in it. And I mark the pages. So if it's a day that I wrote something that I want to remember, I may put a paper clip over it or a pretty bookmark extra to be like, okay, come back to this. Because this is something that you thought about on this day that was creative that you want to try.
So this journal becomes like a roadmap from where you've been to where you want to go, or what you can open up. It's like you put a plant there and it's blooming because you have good things, and it opens your creativity. Can you write longer stuff in there? Can somebody write it?
Yes. So normally it is just 5 minutes, but there are pages in here at the end of each week where there's just notes where you can just write notes. So there's room, it's just blank lines where you can just write notes.
So you're recommending in this journal that somebody appraises their week?
Yes. Or how they felt. How do they feel about the week? Because that's important too, because how did your past week go? What was it that you liked about it that you want to take into your new week? What was it that you don't want to take into your new week? So yes, at the end of the week, there's a weekly journal page for you to fill out to talk about your week and how you want your next week to go. So
in other words, they're doing a self-appraisal and at the same time getting ready for the other week. Now, at that point, is it a wise thing for them to start making plans of how they want their day? People all have certain things they do, how they want their day to go. Is that something they can apply in the first page for the new week?
They can write on the line saying, from the week part, this is how I want today to go. And at the end of the day, I will jot down if I was able to accomplish these things or if my day actually went that way. Yes.
Well, that is amazing, because you're giving them a chance to do a self-appraisal before a supervisor does the appraisal for them. And so they are not judging themselves, they're praising, they're acknowledging the good, the not so well, and the did well, in a sense. They're looking at what they could do next time.
Absolutely.
How would you encourage them to write about the next times? Because the next times is the things we didn't do well, and now we know we are going to have to face it again. Give me an example of, because you're the HR expert, you're the entrepreneur, you're the person that knows all those little things. You know fully well they tell us you did well and this is your next time. That means it wasn't that great. So how would I write in my journal, my 5-minute journal, about something I know that I did not perform as well as I should have?
Well, I mean, you would write, this is what I need to improve on. This is what I want to work on. Did I work on this today? So if they give you something like, let's just say your grammar, for lack of a better word, if they say your grammar and your writing is horrible or needs improvement, because we don't use the word horrible in HR, it needs improvement, then every day you're trying to say, okay, because you don't want that on your next evaluation. You know, you don't want that to come back up. What am I doing to make sure that I am trying to improve my grammar? You know, did I get Grammarly on the computer? You know, do I have a dictionary? I have handy with me, that I'm checking my words and making sure that I'm spelling things correctly. And then you would chart that. You know, this is my goal, to improve my grammar from next year. Every day you can say, you know, I worked on it, I did better, I didn't work on it, I didn't work on it at all. Or once you've accomplished it at the end of one of the weeks, I've accomplished this goal, and check it off. The other thing too, and as it relates to HR, if your manager says something that you need to work on and you start working on it and you feel like you've improved, you can check back in with that boss and say, hey, on my last evaluation 2 months ago, you said I need an improvement on this. I have been really working on improving this. Can you look at whatever it is to see if I've improved or what else I need to improve on? Because by the time evaluations come around again, you don't want that same mark. You want to have excelled at that area that they said that you need to improve on. So you can follow back up with you, and you can put that in your journal. Today, I followed back up with my boss. I've been working on my grammar for the past 2 months. I follow back up with them, and to get to ask them, how am I doing? Am I improving? They said blah blah blah. You know.
So that is a book, that journal, you can take it when you're having a conversation with your boss. In other words, like not a full appraisal or performance appraisal, but like you said, I want you to look at what I've been doing since my last appraisal on the things that I did not do as well as I should or I would have loved. So this book is with you. And while the boss is talking to you, you think it's a good idea to write what he's saying in response to what you're
taking notes. You're taking notes. That's how you learn. You're taking notes. Because how else you're not supposed to record it, voice record it. So you take notes for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. They can't stop you from taking notes for you to look at later to improve.
So that performance, that 5-minute journal becomes a very important part of your life, because it shows, it encourages you to take responsibility, but it also gives you a lot of power because you have it written down. So now you can go back, and if something you said, you told me on this day that I was improving.
That's right. So
you have that as your point of reference whenever you need that. So that journaling gives you a lot. That particular book, that particular 5-minute work journal gives you a lot of power, and it gives you to take responsibility for your career. It seems to me that is what it's making you do as an individual. Go ahead.
No, absolutely, that's what it is. Absolutely.
So a person starting off now in this world, this career, new careers, like first job, graduate from university, what do you think this book, is that an important thing, a tool for them to have?
Absolutely. It's important for just starting a career or already in your career and you want to improve on your career. And it's important for just your daily self-care.
Yes, and I think too, that's true, but I think it's a manager, director, supervisor, whoever they are, seeing you with a 5-minute journal, making notes, and shows them that you are a person that's taking responsibility for your career. I think that would give them an idea that here is this human being that's pushing, she has this book, she's working on it, she's checking with me. Next time a promotion comes in, it might be your turn to get it based only on your behavior with that 5-minute journal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a win-win for the person who follows that 5-minute journal. As you know, with those type of books, 5-minute journals, especially that one, I wonder what you or I would do, because we're both like that, at work. If we have our 5-minute journal, I would give it to others and tell them, hey, yeah, I got this book, try it. It really keeps you sane, especially the person who's having the most difficulty at work. I think that whoever gets this journal, remember what you know, you must teach. Knowledge is not just to keep.
That's
so
right.
You have something like that. You have a co-worker who's not swimming upstream, they're swimming upstream and it's really bad, and introduce them to that book, or get one and mentor them on how to use it, because it's important. I really enjoyed that type of information that you put in the book, and the purpose and the reason that someone should do it. I look at it, especially the part for me, thinking of it, if people haven't journaled before, especially that 5-minute journal, it's not like writing 3 pages of journaling, which is maybe what frightened you when you were looking at the blank page. Just putting down what is bothering you in there. You could call it my downloading journal. It's not that it's bad, but it's something that's eating at me and it's preventing me from focusing. And in the journal, because it's Spiritual Prosperity Night, and I said a part of writing is praying. When you write in your journal, you're really having a conversation with yourself, and your true self is where you are, right? So it's a heart-to-heart talk to self. At the end of a year of journaling, what would you recommend that person do? For if you were able to do it for a year, you might need 3 or 4 of those in a year.
I would say keep journaling.
Keep journaling.
Keep journaling, and you keep journaling. Journaling, I think, at this point, and you're talking about somebody who was not very good at journaling in the past, but keep journaling. There's people who, I mean, you said yourself, you journaled since you were
10.
in school.
Yeah, 10, yeah.
Since you were 10. I mean, you hear people say it all the time. Oprah Winfrey says it all the time. I'm going to put that in my journal. I'm going to write that in my journal. And then she looks back into it. You'll journal for the rest of your life. You know.
You do. I have one here. I'll show you. It really wasn't a journal. It's just this. It's from the dollar store. And it's not a big one. And the purpose, I carried it with me to work. And I wrote things about working there. And it was important. I had the goals and my work goals and what I wanted to accomplish. And it was amazing, the different things I wrote in that book. And it's, I had a plan, a business master plan that we had to do. It's in there. And it was in 2013, I wrote what I had to do every day at work. There were some systems you had to go into to get what was in there, and goals for January 2013. It was just amazing. Write daily, meditate, and then before going to work, make sure I drank sufficient water, take my lunch break. So you have to write those things in there. And it's important that people realize that, like Oprah says, write it down. If you write it down, you remember it. It becomes part of you and it empties you. Or it might be an idea, like I said, those tiny ideas we sometimes ignore. That's where they should go, in that 5 minutes. That's why it's 5 minutes. You don't have to take 2 hours. Just write, today, while I was doing this, I realized I could do it better. Maybe I'll talk to my boss about improving this. And all your little ideas. And then you go to the meeting, because everybody has a Zoom or something. You open your journal and you said, yes, I was thinking we could change this way of doing this. And everybody will look at your book. What is that? Oh, my 5-minute journal. And there you become a leader for no reason, just because you're showing a little bit of something that you do. I really liked your book. I like the idea. And you know I do love the idea. And hey guys, where can they buy the book?
So they can buy the book on Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's called 5-Minute Journaling on Amazon by Belinda Harris. It is, I've got other books, but this one is less talking about 90 days to employment or resumes. It's for everybody, because self-care is for everyone, so that's, and especially self-care at work, which we don't do enough. So it is on Amazon. I think Rosie said she wanted a sneak peek. If I can show a page. So yeah. Rosie I don't know if you can see how well you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. It has a little, the words. Rosie, can you see that?
She wanted a sneak peek. The other thing too is that I'm giving away some journals today. Well, not today. Between now and tomorrow, for those people who, do you want me to tell it now, or you want me to wait? You want me to wait or tell it now?
Right here, but you can tell it now, because it's fun for people to know that they came and they were able to get a journal and that they can use it and help others to use it by, giving it away to somebody else also. So there you go.
So this
This
is how
journal
you
is
get
a
it.
great idea. Somebody said this journal is a great idea for any new chapters in your life. It really helps you to focus on making either yourself better or your environment. Amazing. Sneak peek by Rosie and everybody. Your course, I didn't see, I was busy listening to you. I didn't look at anybody's stuff. So we certified the Ali, everybody. Makes a really great gift too for someone in transition to a new career that has not left their current job. It is journaling, especially one for work. It's almost like a roadmap of where you are and where you want to go. Mm-hmm. It doesn't only have to be on things, anything to do with work, your career, anything to do with work. You should have it in there. You should journal that. And if you do not journal, you are not taking away from what you have in your brain, putting it there, making room for it. But what I know for sure is that journaling opens up creativity. Whether it's you're talking about a function that you have to do at work that's not easy, it's a bit challenging, and you're trying to do it and you write about it in there. It's amazing once you've written it down how quickly answers come. And that's why I'm always telling people that writing in a journal is like praying. It's almost like the gods are waiting for you to write so they can give you the answer. And when you get it, you go back to the 5-minute journal and you write it there again. Mm-hmm. And like Belinda suggested, you add a little bright color thing to know where you are. You put a paper clip, you got a bookmark or whatever you do. But make sure you journal. It's especially if you're in an employment thing, if you're an entrepreneur and you're starting to open your business, journal, because that's where all your smart ideas will come from. You cannot keep everything you know in your brain. It's not going to carry you all the time. No, it's not. And it's not that you're stupid or you're getting old or anything like that. It's that you need to empty your brain into your 5-minute journal so that you can have more information to come in to make you a better person, a better version of yourself. I received mine last week and I ordered it from Amazon. Can I buy that journal? Yes, you can, Oyuko. So you just drop it into quick hello. Hi, Toronto. Toronto came into. So it's amazing. Thank you for bringing this to us. I'm really happy. And guys, you can check the journal out, buy it at Amazon. I don't know how much it is if you want to do that, or if you want to announce your winners of your giveaway. Not yourself.
How the giveaway works though. So you have to do one action or two actions to be selected for the journal. So the first one is that you have to go to my bio and subscribe to our newsletter. Subscribe to our Rocket Employment newsletter. And then after Tess Marie posts this live on her feed, you have 24 hours until Friday at 7 p.m. to write, I subscribe to the newsletter. And then I'm going to pick 2 winners. I'm going to pick 2 people that I'm going to mail you a copy free of the 5-minute journaling.
That is so amazing.
So
I will order mine from Amazon myself. You do not have to send me one. I'll order it. I'll order it when Yuko is going to order it. So I'm sure she'll order too.
Okay.
No, I'll just order my own. But this is an amazing idea, guys. Those of you who haven't started journaling, please get one of those. It's amazing what it will do. Your life will change because it will give you a lot of reasons to be enthusiastic. You will, of course, it's not going to take away the negative things from you, but what it's going to do for you is give you a chance to balance the positive and the negative. You cannot journal and only journal the bad things in your life.
Right.
You will journal the good things because you have to, it's a way of rating yourself at work. And, when something happens at work and you were there, that's a place you can also write it. No, if you have never used a journal for work, as I showed you mine, that is not a book you leave lying on your desk, people.
Take it. You keep it with you. Keep it with you.
That is your book. You don't give it. You don't leave it around for people to poke at, or even at home. you know, a journal is a sacred thing. And Belinda said she made the cover soft, but when you said you made the cover soft, I, when I choose a journal, it's like I'm making love to the book. Honestly, you see me I go to get a journal, I have to caress it, I have to feel the pages. So the feeling of the journal, when you get it, put your energy into the journal. Please do not just get the journal, open it, and start writing. Look at the journal and spend some time with it as if it's a friend, because it is a friend. Flip through the pages and look at it. And in mine, I had habits that were holding me back that I wanted to change, and I did that. It's written there, and that was written in 2001. So and that was my work one. So make love to your journal. Let your energy flow from you to that journal. It has to become you. And do not leave it where prying eyes will open it, because somebody, if you have a goal, a dream, or a desire that you have written, you want to get on the next opening, the next promotion that comes in your department, and somebody sees it and opens it, that person maybe was just sending negative energy, which it maybe wouldn't affect you, but their attitude towards you or what they say might not be nice. So it's not something to leave sitting any and anywhere. Your journal is your best friend that does not tell you you're not okay. Your journal always believes you are the best. That's right. So do not forget to do that for Belinda.
Subscribe to our newsletter. Subscribe to our newsletter. Rocket Employment, go to my bio, hit the link tree. It'll say subscribe to newsletter, subscribe to the newsletter. Then you got to come back to Tessa Marie's post. So if you're not following Tessa Marie, you got to be following her so you'll know to come back to her post and write, I subscribe to the newsletter. I'm going to pick 2 winners. You have until tomorrow. Sorry about that. You have until tomorrow at 7 p.m. to subscribe, subscribe and write and post on the post.
So Kirby Point said, believe in the power of journal, the guide to my life. So there's somebody that knows that. And I can say the same thing to you. I have journaling boxes, and I have, in my journal, I have about my boyfriends and my kisses and all of those things. I would write how much water I drink during my work. That's good. You see, that's a good thing for somebody who does not drink water. It's because when you're at work, you forget to do those things that help you live a really fulfilled life. Let me see what else. Rosie got her choice. So sneak peek for Rosie. The journal is a great idea for any new person. That was great. So guys, it was great talking to you. And I'm sorry I didn't look at your comments, but I wanted Belinda to tell you the benefits of journaling. And some of you know that already. So if you already have a journal and somebody's birthday is coming up, this is a good time to purchase a journal for them. Mother's Day. Mothers are not too old to journal, and mothers might have a lot of fun. So instead of giving her something she mightn't like, then give her the flowers and say, Mom, I saw that and I thought if you're busy schedule, there you are. You have 5 minutes, you can write. If you forget to tell me something, or you're in the kitchen cooking and you have to say, okay, Belinda, I need to talk to you tomorrow. You write it in the book so you remember to phone Belinda, your daughter, or your son. So try that. Mothers will enjoy it, and they'll show off. Mothers love to show off. They say, my daughter, my son bought me a journal, to their friends, and the others will look at them and like, oh yeah, you should buy one. So Belinda, I'm looking forward to many sales of that journal, and I'll be buying mine tonight.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you. And so thank you everybody for coming on. And great.
Yes, guys, thanks for coming. And really, it's when you come and you follow us, we appreciate it. When you come because you know us, we appreciate it even more. Because if you know us and you follow us, sometimes you might think, oh, I'm not going to listen to those 2. I listen to them all the time. But when you come and you press the heart button, you get others who might be following you to come. And we always try to give you value for your time. So thank you for choosing to push the button and to join us tonight. I was looking forward to it. And Belinda, I hope the limousine comes back to take you in time to take you back home. So thank you for joining. coming
Thank
to the
you.
Pessimary show. And I hope you enjoy your ride. I told him you can have wine on your way home. So
Okay. Thank
he
you.
will give you a hot towel to wipe your hand
Okay.
and he will pour you a glass of red. I think you would like red. So I said a red Merlot. And I hope you enjoy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I need it.
You need it after this interview. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining me.
you.
And I appreciate each and every one of you for coming. Everybody, all the regulars, thank you, and all the new ones. And thank you for the somebody followed me. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the journey. Have fun, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, before you leave, I need you to subscribe. We need more rocket stars to land their dream job. Subscribe.